Yo, topic of today. Your words matter more than you actually think they do. You know what they say in Proverbs 18? I don't know what it is, but just something I was speaking on YouTube that is a lot more frightening. So, there's power of life and death in the tongue. And this is in Proverbs 18 verse 21. But what does that mean? That's a bit about what I want to talk about in today's video. To be honest, what we say is one of the most what we say is really important. We gotta be intentional about what we are saying in every word we speak, and it matters more depending on the situation that you are in as well. I know there were times that I was in very dark places or very sad places. I was probably very depressed. In times like that, to be honest, I would say it's very important to watch your tongue and watch what you say. Sometimes you feel like a lunatic, to be honest. You know why? Because in a state where you can see everything around you does not match with how you actually feel. But that's what faith is. You gotta speak life into situation. That's what it means to have that. There's power in life. There's power of life and death in the tongue. You can either choose to speak life into a situation and flip the situation right side up, or you can speak death into it and flip that right, or make the situation 10 times worse. Now, I just want to tell you a little story, or a little, can I say, analogy that I read in this book, An Enemy Called Average. It's a great book. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm by Nugget 11. So there's a part in this book, in this Nugget number 11, where it spoke about this thing that monks do, where they'll go in a 7-year period where they're not allowed to speak. But every end of the 7th-year period, they get to speak 2 words. So there's this one guy who had to go through this process where he's like, I'm gonna do this thing now. And after his first 7 years, he speaks. So after the first 7 years, his mentor, or whatever you call it, came to him and asked him, so what are your 2 words after your 7-year period? He says, food's bad. Okay, bro goes back. Another 7 years. So after the 7 years, he comes back to him and says, hey, what's 2 words? Bed's hard. Now, after the final time, he comes to him and he says, after this next 7 years, which is the final time, he asks him, what are your 2 words this time? He says, I quit. His mentor looks at him, quite disgusted, frankly, and he says, I'm not surprised. Since you've gotten here, you've been negative. I don't know what else you expect. In Philippians 2 verse 15, the Apostle Paul exhorted the believers of this day, do all things without murmuring and disputing, that ye may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God without rebuke in the midst of crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shines as lights in the world. Contrary to what you may have heard, talk is not cheap. Talk is very expensive. You gotta watch what you say. I said all the time, you gotta feel like a psychopath. I know it's a weird word to say, but I think that's how you, like when you're new to this whole walk of speaking life into situations that don't feel like it can get any better, you feel kind of crazy because it doesn't match what you see. But that's what faith is. Faith is the substance of things that are not seen, but things that you hope for. You hope to see. You bring them into fruition. That's what faith is. You're hoping to see the opposite. Faith is hoping to see things that are not there yet and calling them into existence. That's what faith is. So you might feel crazy. Faith is what God works on. The opposite is the enemy. When you choose to speak faith over your life, you're choosing to speak what God will speak over your life. When you choose to speak fear and anxiety, you're choosing to speak flesh. You're choosing to speak what the enemy hopes to happen in your life. I know things can be a little bit difficult right now. A lot of us are going through difficult times. But during this time where you're going through stressful situations, I do encourage you, bite your lip. If you have nothing good to say about your life, just shut up. To be honest, just keep quiet. Don't say anything. I think that's better than saying negativity over your lives. Rather choose to speak life. I know it's a difficult task, but I definitely do encourage it. We should know that our words are powerful, and what we say affects what we get from others and what others get from us. When we speak the wrong word, it lessens our ability to see and hear the will of God over our lives. So I just want to encourage you, if you're going through a difficult time, choose to speak positivity of your life. There's so much power in it. Speak life into a situation. Simply by speaking these positive things of your life, it could just change your attitude. It might not change the environment. It might not change people around you, but it will change your attitude towards the situation. And I trust me when I say your attitude towards the situation is more important than just seeing a situation sometimes shifting. Because when you choose to speak life and your attitude changes, it doesn't matter what situation or environment you're in. You are given control over that. Just know that when you choose to speak negativity over the things you see in the flesh, you are choosing to give it power. So yeah, next time there's a bad situation, choose to speak the opposite. When you feel stressed and anxious, choose to speak peace and life into that situation. Hope you like this video. Stay blessed. Speak to you next time.
I ran away from fights when I should have stood my ground. Lived a double life when